evening. Welcome to 2022 League of Women Voters Candidates Forum for the office of District 7 County Council of Prince George's County. I'm Gloria Johnson, and I am the president of the League of Women Voters of Prince George's County. I will serve as moderator this evening. As a trained neutral member of the League of Women Voters, I will ask all questions to the candidates that have been provided by members of the community and by the League of Women Voters members. The League of Women Voters of Prince George's County, Maryland, was founded in 1921. We were one of the first local leagues in the United States. The league consists of both men and women members. You too can be a member of the League of Women Voters. We have membership information on our website for anyone who would like to join. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization of women and men that encourages informed and active participation in government. We work to increase understanding of major public policy issues and influence public policy through education and advocacy. I would like to announce the candidates for District 7 County Council, Prince George's County, in alphabetical order. Please note that there were 4 people who were eligible and certified, but only 2 are with us tonight. So I will still name the individuals. Gary Falls is a Republican. He did not come this evening. We have next alphabetically Dr. Anita G. Naves. And then we have Crystal Oriata. And Mr. Rodney Colvin Streeter did not respond to the invitation. So tonight we will have Dr. Naves and Crystal Oriata. Crystal, when you come on mic, you'll have to tell me how to say that correctly. Each candidate received an emailed message which they were asked to acknowledge that they were willing to abide by the rules of this forum. The 2 candidates who will appear this evening have in fact agreed to be bound by the rules. The rules are as follows. Each candidate will be given a 2-minute uninterrupted opening opportunity. Questions during the forum will be presented to the candidates by the moderator only. Questions must be general and applicable to all members of the forum. Each candidate will be provided 60 seconds to respond to the questions presented by the moderator. The timekeeper will signal when there is 60 seconds left, and a stop sign will be raised when they need to stop speaking. If a candidate is absent, and we do have 2 people who are absent, their chair will remain empty and no substitute will be allowed. However, if one of the 2 invited people do come later this evening, they will be permitted to take their place and start where we are at that time during this forum. So there is a possibility that 2 more people may show on this platform. There will be no verbal interchange. This is not a debate. At the end of the forum, there will also be an opportunity for each candidate to present closing remarks, not to exceed 1 minute. Now, pre-pandemic, we used to have people pick numbers out of a bowl and the first number went first and so on seriatim. However, since we do not have the opportunity to be face-to-face meeting, we are putting the candidates today in alphabetical order. So the first person to provide us with an opening statement will be Dr. Naves. Dr. Naves, you may proceed.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry, I had my mic muted. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you, Miss Gloria Johnson, and the Women League of Voters, and everyone else who is joining in tonight. I am Dr. Anita Naves. I am the prime choice candidate for County Council District 7. Just a little bit about me. I am award-winning educator. I've worked in Prince George's County Public Schools for about 8 years. I was one of the first parent liaisons who was highly awarded for my works in empowering youth. Also, not only youth, families, and communities. I am a 45-year veteran public servant and community activist who have served the people of Prince George's County, Maryland for over 40 years. I create award-winning initiatives that help better families, communities, and children. A lot of my initiatives have gone national and international, although they have started in Prince George's County, Maryland. I am also a social worker. I am a retired United States Capitol Police officer. I'm also the CEO and manager of a nonprofit organization called Youth Fest. I am the founder of the first back to school book bag and school supply giveaway, which we know has grown to be an annual fundraiser event. I am the founder and the starter of that and was named a Woman in History, which is located in the office of the Prince George's County Executive and beyond. I am also the founder of um, Combat Boots for Black Justice, which is a social advocacy organization that also empower people in our communities to understand law enforcement, politics, and how to navigate the educational system. Um, I'm an international honoree, meaning that a lot of my initiatives are on an international level. And I've been highly honored by senators, congressional members, the Prince George's County officials. I was the prayer advisor for 5 years for the Prince George's County Council when they started their morning business. I'm a religious leader. I've also been supported by women organizations, endorsed by Giant Food Store, a host of other restaurants because I care about our food deserts here in Prince George's County, Maryland. I've been
Thank you
endorsed
for
by
your
Youth Act.
opening statement,
Thank you.
Doctor. Now we will have an opening statement by, I'm going to try to say your name. Is it Oriata?
That is so close, Orietta.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You can start your opening statement.
Thank you so much. One, I want to thank you for having this opportunity to hear from candidates. It's so important to create these types of platforms. I'm Crystal Orieva, as you know, a candidate running for County Council for District 7. I've been an organizer, advocate for over 12 years, and I got started in corporate America. I have my undergrad from Howard University. I went on to receive my MBA, and I work for Hewlett Packard as the youngest global project manager and the only woman of color. And I love my job, but I realized I wasn't helping anyone. I wasn't making an impact on the world. And I said I could use my skill set to do more. And so I decided to do that. And I took a role working at the Department of Health and Human Services, building national campaigns around human trafficking, domestic violence, adolescent pregnancy prevention. And then again, I realized that I could do more, really to affect my community. And I ran for county council last time. I lost by 30 votes. And a lot of times people go away. But I said I could still do the work that I was so passionate about. I was honored to ask to serve as policy director for a council member. So I really had the opportunity to dig into the issues that were so important to me. Then was asked to move to the national level to work on best practices around this country and to move federal policy around agriculture, food access, and nutrition. And again, I was called. I was called because I saw what was happening in my own backyard. And so I co-founded PG Changemakers, and we're 2.5 years old. And I was excited to be asked to serve as the first executive director, to be able to raise over $2 million dedicated to the work we do here in Prince George's County. And I built my campaign around the values and the issues I see every day: economic development, access for our seniors, access for our youth. And I'm so excited to dive into those things that I plan on doing with the community, because I know it's not about me, but it's about us. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, because we only have two people on the platform, it's going to seem like I'm going back to back. However, since we only have two people, Dr. Naves was the first to make her opening statement. So Ms. Ariatha will be the first to answer the first question. And that first question is one that focuses on qualifications. How does your experience prepare you for the duties of this office that you seek?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I feel like I have the experience and it's needed. You have to understand policy and budget. So I've worked 4 years on both federal and local policy. I served as a policy director. I worked on best practices around this country, but then I also worked on federal policy. So I understand what it looks like to write legislation, manage budgets, and then also I understand and have been exposed to real life issues. I understand what it is to be laid off. I understand what it is not sure if you are going to have access to healthcare. I understand what it means to lose a family member and friends to gun violence. I understand what it feels like to be a survivor of violence. So I feel like my experience allows me to have the competency to serve in this role, but more importantly, that the compassion that it takes, because everything that you do when you're elected to office should be built around how can you make the community and the lives of your residents better. So with me at the helm, you'll understand that I know what I'm doing. I have the experience and the education to do it, but more importantly, I have the heart to do it as well.
Thank you. That was right on time. Dr. Naves, would you like me to repeat the question?
Sure, you may.
Okay, great. The question is one of qualifications. How does your experience prepare you for the duties of this office you seek?
Well, I don't feel I know that I'm qualified based on my experiences as a humanitarian, a business owner since the age of 18. Like I said, I've been out here in public work, humanitarian services, philanthropist services since the age of 18, nonstop, consistently. I have 158 awards. Let me say it again, 158 awards and honors. Okay, not because I know politics, but because I've changed people's lives through my community initiatives. Okay, I am the only, which I was told, I'm the only business owner, a person who have managed a business for over 20 years. And that takes skill. It takes consistency. But not only that, I know people. I've been out in the street. I'm not big on politics. I don't like to get into that so much because my initiatives help people and families. I raise money out of my own pocket. So I really look for ways to help people resolve their issues, their problems. And right now we have major ones in Prince George's County, especially District 7, one of the most underrepresented communities. And this is not an office.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to go now to the second question, and just keep your eye on the screen to watch for the time.
Okay.
All right, so question two now starts with you, Dr. Naves. And question two is one about budget. What programs within the county's budget should be increased or decreased?
Safety, number one. The budget has been cut as it relates to police safety and police community representation. That needs to be increased. We don't have time to defund the police here in Prince George's County, not with all of the murders and killings that are happening, and even to the point where senior citizens are being attacked. No one is excluded. So we must have money for better policing. And again, I'm a retired police officer, and I know what that looks like. I know what it should feel like. And before they even started this policing with the county, when Chief Stanwinski was there, I sent him a platform called Pop Pop. And it was a way for people in the community to work together in order to be the eyes for one another. So I don't want to go into that, but most definitely, I've been out there a long time and I have created initiatives before they even thought about doing some things that they're doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, that's okay.
All right, thank you.
I think that we have to increase our social services budget. It is so low compared to other jurisdictions, and that is talking about feeding our seniors, access to resources for our youth, access to mental health services. So we have to look at how can we raise our social services budget and our health and human services. And then we also have to look at education. It is an equalizer. We have to ensure that we are on par when it comes to funding our education system in Prince George's County so that our children have the best opportunity to succeed. And I think what's really crucial when we talk about what can we cut, I really think that making sure that we audit the way that we are using our money and our dollars for administration and high-level executive positions is the first thing I look for. Because when we looked at like the county council budget increasing over $2 million, while we didn't see increases in like social services programs. So we have to look at that, and we have to be honest about where can we cut and where we need to increase.
Thank you for your response. All right, and now I'm picking a question. Now we'll come to question number 3. And question number 3 is about education. What steps will you take to improve support for the public schools? And it looks like because we have back-to-back, again, we are coming to you, Dr. Naves.
Well, since I worked in the public school system for many years, I'm not sure. I know I was an award-winning parent liaison, and everything I did, it made the newspaper, the Prince George's, Prince was that the PD Sentinel newspaper. I had an article called Parent Point, and I wrote a lot of family articles. I think when we're talking about the education system right now, it is so conflicted. There are so many rabbit holes and turns that we can go down. But ultimately, we must understand that we have a CEO. And so all these moving parts have to work together. Now, what I do rally for is a better school board, because the school board needs to be more effective in terms of really being vocal and taking a stand. So that's where it really needs to start, and getting the parents involved. Parents need to be very, very involved. Times are very critical for our school system and the students here. Yeah.
Ms. Ariatha?
Yeah, education is so important to me. I will continue to be an advocate for community schools. I was really excited to be one of the co-authors as an advocate for that policy. It started off as a pilot program with 3 schools, and then was so honestly, it's an amazing program that's been done around the country. So it was included in the blueprint, and now we're expanding to over 45 schools. And so what's so important about this program is that it's wraparound services. It says that we have to meet the needs of the children, but also their families and also the community around it. And so continuing to advocate for that. So if that means we need more mental health services in the school, if that means that we need English learning at that school for parents or students, if that means we need a doctor's office because there's not access to healthcare, it really looks at every single thing that's needed. And so for me, it's being an advocate for those transformational, innovative policies, making sure that we have the funding to do it, and making sure that we continue to think of outside the box to make sure we give our kids what they need.
Very good. Our next question talks about seniors. Would you support tax breaks for seniors in Prince George's County? What would those breaks be that you would support? And let's see here. I actually flipped the question improperly the last time. So this question will start with Dr. Naves, and then we'll be back on track.
Okay. Dr. Johnson, can I ask you a question?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Not about the question. You cannot.
No, I just want to ask you a question. Are you permitted to say very good after each candidate say something, or one candidate?
I can say whatever I'd like.
Pardon me?
I can say
You
whatever
can?
I'd like.
Okay, well, I'm going to
It's a way of saying thank you for stopping on time. It's
Okay,
my way of
good.
saying stop.
Okay,
Let me just
you're
make
giving.
sure that you understand.
No, let me make sure I understand what's going on because I may want to conclude. Now, if you're going to say very good after everything that the other candidate says, then I will conclude.
I am saying very good because the person did not continue talking when the time sign came up. Not that the answer was good, ma'am, but that they are watching when the 15 seconds comes up and you gauge yourself when the times, as I said, when we're following the rules, when the time sign comes up, it's not a red sign, but when you see time, that means stop. So you can
Okay,
finish
I just
that
want to make sure.
sentence. I'm sorry, we can't both talk at once. You can finish that sentence, but you can't start another, series of thoughts because this is timed for 60 seconds.
Yes, I know I have stopped when you asked me to stop. I just want
Yeah,
to make
and,
sure I
and that's all
understand.
I'm saying is when somebody stops on time and I don't have to like cut you off because it sort of hurts my feelings to cut somebody off in the middle of a sentence. But the league
No,
has rules and I'm not supposed to let them talk 2 minutes if it's only 1 minute.
okay, I understand that. I want to make sure I understand. That's
Yes,
it.
ma'am. It's
So now,
just saying, good, I didn't have to be rude. That's all I'm saying. Not that the answer was good. I may not agree with any of these answers, but I will try not to say very good when I don't have to be rude. But I'm trying to say, when you see the time, it's just a little thing down at the bottom of your screen. It says 15 seconds. And then almost immediately thereafter, there is a four-letter word. It says time. That means stop. In the old days, we used to hold up a stop sign. But now that we are electronic, we put up a sign that says time, T-I-M-E, and that means stop.
okay, I understand that. But you
Okay,
sound like you
and
were
I
getting
didn't mean
upset.
to be rude by cutting across you before. It's just that I will be chastised for giving you more time than
No,
60
I'm not
seconds.
asking. I'm not. We can carry on. I'm not asking for more time. You said you can say whatever you want, and I thought that was disrespectful. So we can carry on because I
Okay,
don't disrespect
very
people.
good,
Thank
very
you.
good. Let me go back to the questions. Find my place. Okay, the question was, would you support tax breaks for seniors in Prince George's County? What would those breaks be that you would support?
Okay, you're asking me. I do support tax breaks for seniors. First of all, starting with property taxes. That's the number one. I support breaks or perks, actually, economical perks for seniors who are transitioning from their homes to maybe senior citizen living or assisted senior living, or just moving to some of these newly developed senior citizen properties in Prince George's County. I think there need to be tax breaks all over the place. If not tax breaks, there surely need to be perks for senior citizens because a lot of senior citizens have worked so hard, you know, and we need tax breaks. We need perks. We need to do more for our seniors on whatever level they are living on. That's how I feel. Yes, most definitely.
Okay, do you need the question read again?
No.
Okay.
I definitely support tax breaks and incentives for our seniors. I was really excited to be actually work on the first draft of the tax credit that just passed on the county council when I had the honor of working for Tom Dernoga. It did not see the light of day because of the will of the council at that moment, but I'm really excited for Councilmember Burrows that was able to pass that incentive. I would say I'd like to extend it. So right now it is set for 5 years. So one of the things, if I was elected, I would like an amendment. I don't think it should be set for 5 years. I think it should be indefinite. I think we also have to look at how can we increase our free recreational services for seniors. Also really pouring into our nonprofits that focus specifically on seniors. For example, PD Changemakers, the organization I'm executive director of, we have adopted a Senior 365 program where we have monthly activities for seniors seniors, remember them on birthdays, holidays, etc. And so there are a lot of organizations that do that. So we should pour money into that as well. Thank you.
Question number 5 is related to affordable housing. And the question is, how would you increase the availability of affordable housing and address homelessness in Prince George's County?
Mm.
Now, question number 5 is going to start with Ms. Oriatha.
Thank you. This is such an important question. First, I think inclusionary zoning is crucial. That just means that when we have new development, that you have set asides at market rate. So if you built like these new townhomes or new condos or apartments that the community that are living in the currently living here could afford to actually live there. I also think that we have to look at transitional housing. We have to have a stepping from shelter to how you can live on your own, right? And that is transitional housing, which is missing. And then we also have to invest in more shelter beds in the county. We have 2 shelters. We don't have shelters that have access to all community members in need. We have some shelters that if you have a son, that they won't take you. So we have shelters that if you're part of the LGBTQ plus community, you might not have access to. So for me, it's looking at shelters, transitional housing, and then all of our developments to make sure that we have inclusionary zoning so that every single person can afford to live in Prince George's County.
For me, working with the homeless is very crucial. I worked with the homeless for many, many years. We must do better in Prince George's County. That would be number 1 for me. Looking at some of the homeless people, we don't have the resources that Washington, D.C. have. We need many more shelters, but also we need to cater to the people who are already living on the street. It would be nice to see those people being taken care of. Maybe there's some type of county van that can come around and, just kind of encourage these people, find out how they can get their driver's license, how they can get back to living, if they can get a basic shower. And if we cannot get these houses right away, we need to have vouchers for hotel rooms. For many years, I gave vouchers and money to homeless people to stay in hotels. So I don't know why the county can't do that. That's something I would certainly be looking into as a council member.
Thank you. Question number 6, we'll start with you, Dr. Naves. And that question is, what are your plans, or what would be your plans to reduce health disparities in this community? That's a big question.
It really is. That is really a big question. That's the big elephant in the room. But currently, working, at the Department of Social Services for many years, I think there are a lot of resources for, there could be more, but there are a lot of resources that people can apply to. However, a major problem is a lot of people aren't technically savvy. A lot of people aren't willing to use the computers, even seniors. And so we have a problem right there, because it can get twisted when seniors try to, navigate the technical world. But there are resources. We can use more for younger people, but there are quite a few. We have a problem with people navigating the system, and that's where they need the most help. Could you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think this is such a layered question and layered solution, right? So 1, we have to look at access to food. We have to have healthy food options in our communities. We have to look at access to doctor office, access to healthcare, even if you don't have insurance. We have to look at access to housing. And then we also have to look at our environment, right? If you look at the environmental justice commission that put together, one of their recommendations were health impact assessments. I've been an advocate for health impact assessments for over 10 years. And we've tried so hard, because what this would do is help reduce liquor stores and tobacco stores on every single corner, and really allow us to have teeth in our zoning, in our development projects that said, no, this is not good for our community. This is a hazard to our health. And so we have to also look at making sure we have the right things in our community. And that's grocery stores, that's doctor's offices, that's not tobacco, fast food places, and liquor stores on every corner.
This is question number 7. And this question is about development and land use. What changes, if any, are needed in the county's land use policies? And question number 7 begins with Ms. Don't tell me.
I'm sorry. I actually was just talking about this, right? So health impact assessments is crucial when we talk about development in our county, because when a lot of council members will say, well, we can't make any changes about that. That is a permittable use is what they're talking about. So that is why what we do with our zoning rewrites, what we do around legislation, and what tools we give ourselves to combat the development in our communities is so crucial. And so for me, health impact assessments, we need to look at giving ourselves the teeth to stop tobacco and liquor stores in our community. We also have to look at ensuring that we elect people that don't take developer funds. That's so crucial to me, so that we know that the people that are representing us have our best interests at heart. And so we had to change the law in Annapolis just so we could pass the zoning rewrite, because we couldn't get a quorum because so many people took developer funds. And so making sure we strengthen that also brings efficacy to the development that we see in the county.
Okay.
Do
So
you
for
want me to
me,
repeat the question?
you may, yes.
All right, thank you. Development and land use. What changes, if any, are needed in the county's land use policies?
Okay, since I'm not fully aware of what those policies are, I'll tell you what I am rallying for. As far as I know, I was one of the first candidates to mention that I have enough. That's why I got in the race. I've had enough. I said I'm angry. Enough is enough. I'm tired of tobacco stores every 5 feet, if that. Tobacco stores, liquor stores, beauty, hair supply stores that aren't owned by African Americans at all. I was the first to start stating that was my crucial policy right there that I wanted to work on. Let's stop dumping all of these unproductive stores that do not benefit, our people or people in general. So we talk about land use. We need to make sure the developers that come to develop in District 7, that they have some educational platforms that they're going to be building as well. Now, I don't know how much can be done about that, but I know we need safe street zones. We could probably put some cameras in some of these areas as well. The land use, I feel that they're going to pretty much do what they want to do, because that position right there goes to the county executive. And so we have to find a way to work together while defending the rights of our communities.
Question 8 is about employment and jobs. What steps should the county government take to encourage economic development and job growth? Question number 8 starts with Dr. Naves.
What steps should the county take to encourage job growth? Well,
yes, ma'am. What steps should the county? I can read it again. I'm sorry. This is an employment and jobs question. What steps should the county government take to encourage economic development and job growth?
Well, we always need more. There are some programs. For me, I would like to see more churches involved. I would like to see more churches really getting involved, as a community leader, but also, a religious advocate and leader, I want to see more churches get involved and offer the necessary programs and community initiatives that would help people to get jobs and to, they used to have these programs that called, Dress for Success, get your GED. We need more churches involved. And that's what I want to see. So a lot of these churches get grants, but they barely do much with these grants. So that's one of my main focus as well, to really rally pastors who are in these communities. They can do more. That's one way we can increase the economical growth and job growth.
Yeah, I think growing jobs and opportunities is crucial. So one of the things I think we have to look at is how we invest the funds that we already put into the Economic Development Corporation, and really looking at how we can grow and expand small minority businesses and ensure that those monies are being used to make sure they also employ people that are local to Prince George's County. I think when we have development and we as a county, our tax dollars are going to it, that we enforce project labor agreements, that we can ensure that if you're building new construction in the county, that you're hiring workers that are local. So again, that's employing county residents, and with project labor agreements, ensuring a living prevailing wage, access to health care, so good quality jobs. I think it's also important that we really create a better pipeline to vocational and apprenticeship programs in the county. I've met with many unions, some actually located in District 7, and they don't even have one student from Prince George's County in our apprenticeship program, and everything's free. They walk away with no debt and a job. So how do we make sure that we do that full circle?
Next question, number 9, is about infrastructure. How would you address issues such as traffic congestion, transportation needs, and improvements to public facilities in the county? Question number 9 starts with Ms. Oriatha.
Thank you. I think access to transportation and our infrastructure on roads is crucial. In District 7, I've knocked on probably over 10,000 doors, and always in the top 3 to 5 things is infrastructure, potholes, congestions, accidents, needing speed bumps, because we have a community where we have not seen the same resources invested in our infrastructure over years, and we are seeing the consequences of that. That's why representation is so important. When it comes to public transportation, we have to understand that people live full lives. And so expanding our bus hours, making sure they run 7 days a week, expanding the hours in the evening as well, because we have so many people that work weekends and they work evenings, so they have access to public transportation. And then also making sure that we have shelters at our transportation. We don't even have shelters and seating. So making sure that we really invest in the infrastructure and connecting our transit is so important as we begin to develop inside the Beltway, and with having more metro stations than any other district.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, ma'am, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm as far as infrastructure, I'm pleased with the transportation that we do have. We have a lot of subways going right through District 7. However, we do need more bus service. We need the bus. We need that little county bus to go into those areas where people may just need to get somewhere the next 100 feet or something, especially down some of these roads. We need a county, just a little small county bus. However, we have adequate transportation. As far as the streets, yes, the streets need to be better served, better service. Okay, we have potholes a lot of places, and they are doing some work. However, I don't know if it's a matter of timing, but that to me is the main priority there, is having these streets fixed, because there are a lot of holes in a lot of areas. So that's a priority to me. But I think the transportation is pretty good. They are expanding. The county is expanding, and we certainly need more bicycle routes as well, and sidewalks too in a lot of these neighborhoods. Okay.
Now for our last question. It is a question about environmental justice. And the question is, are you familiar with the January 2020 recommendations of the County Environmental Justice Commission? How do you plan to implement any of them? And question number 10 starts with Dr. Naves.
Well, as far as environmental issues, for me, it's the pollution. We need to address the pollution. However, it's not in all communities, in particular areas only. I've gone to a lot of neighborhoods myself and knocked on a lot of doors with my team, thousands, hundreds of doors. And some communities are absolutely gorgeous, right in District 7. However, you go to other communities in District 7 and you see poverty-stricken communities and neighborhoods. You see the pollution because you have a lot of people that are passing through. They're making a lot of these streets, the main streets. You have, main streets, and they're passing through and they're dropping trash. So we have to find a way to address the pollution and the dumping. We have to find a way to do that in some of the underrepresented communities because it's not everywhere. I've gone to some gorgeous communities, but pollution is certainly an environmental problem, which brings about pests and rats and all kinds of things that we don't want. So we must find a way to adequately address that.
Could you repeat the question?
Sure, just let me go back there for 1 second.
Yeah.
Question number 10 is about environmental justice. Are you familiar with the January 2020 recommendations of the County Environmental Justice Commission? How do you plan to implement any of them?
Yes, I am familiar with the plan. And I actually referenced it earlier when we were talking about health impact assessments. That's one of the recommendations. So I think it's really crucial that we look at how we can assess the development of our communities to ensure that it's equitable and we're not seeing certain communities being poorly treated. Because of economic status or because of race or any other issue. It also talked about creating health equity, like a master plan, right? Really looking at areas that are suffering. How can you create a master plan that really looks at the prioritizing the environmental justice areas and places in the county that really need to be prioritized? And I think that's crucial that we take the time to look and find the areas that have been hard hit, that have not been taken care of, that have really suffered from environmental justice, and then build a plan around those areas. That's how you reach equity.
Now the time has come for us to give each candidate. Well, first of all, I want to thank you both for participating in the League of Women Voters Candidate Forum for District 7.
You're welcome.
And I want to also invite you to take the opportunity to make your closing statement. As we had disseminated the rules earlier, each person will get 1 minute to do a closing statement. And let me go back to my chart. Okay, Ms. Oriantha, you are the first to make your closing statement.
First, I want to thank you so much for, again, hosting us, for creating this space, and for being such a gracious moderator. I really decided to run for office because I felt like we needed more. We deserve better. We deserve representation that is reflective of someone that is deeply rooted in the community. And I am someone that is not just competent in the issues, not someone that just understands policy and has a track record of doing this work for years. I'm someone that is really rooted in grassroots work. I'm excited to have over 18 endorsements, including the Teachers Union and Progressive Maryland and hotel workers and nurses, because of the work that I've done. I've been here and I don't plan on going anywhere. And I really know that this isn't about me, that this is about what we can do together. I live by the quote, greatness is not a measure of who you are, but the impact you have on others. So how can we impact our community to be better? And I'm going to listen and learn and be humble as I serve. Thank you.
Dr.
Oh,
Nates?
okay.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
sure. Is it 2 minutes?
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. For me, I'm just ready to get to work. I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to take that county council seat because you know what? We don't have time for people who are career politicians, and we certainly don't have time for people to want the office for the money. We don't have time for people who want self gratification. Oh, they just want to win because they for whatever reason. We don't have time for that. We have some serious issues here. That's why I got in the race. Okay, race because we have issues, and I don't see anyone really resolving or addressing the issues. To me, when people are politicians, they just get in there, all of a sudden they start siding with the majority instead of really impacting people. I'm a voice for the people. I've always been a voice for the people. I'm not easily persuaded. There's a better plan that I have called the Better Way of Living Plan that I cannot wait to implement. And that addresses a lot of the rundown malls that we have, mental health issues that we have, seniors, all the things we talked about. My plan is a better plan, and it's original, it's fresh, and we need new people. We need new people. People may know policies, but we're talking about people being out in these streets, listening to the people and finding solutions and bringing people together so they too can be a charge at helping to make our communities better. So that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. I'm fired up because there's so much that needs to be done. Thank you so much. Vote for me. I'm the prime choice. I'm the prime choice, the wise choice, the right choice. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes this evening's program. I want to thank each of the candidates for your participation here this evening. I'm sorry, is someone saying something?
No, I said you're welcome. I didn't know you could hear me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I had made a mistake. All right. So I want to thank you both for your participation here this evening and your willingness to serve in public office. Those who serve in elective office offer the community a willingness to work, to give it their time, to take responsibility. And these are traits for which the League of Women Voters has the utmost respect. To those of you in the audience watching this program on live stream, to avoid long lines, the League suggests that you engage in early voting for the 2022 gubernatorial primary election. You can vote in person during early voting. Early voting will be held from Thursday, July 7th, 2022 through Thursday, July 14, 2022. Early voting centers will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, who can do early voting? Any person who is registered to vote can vote during early voting. The voting deadline depends on how you want to receive your ballot. If you want to receive your ballot by mail or fax, your request must be received by the Board of Elections, not just mail, but received by Tuesday, July 12th. If you want to receive your ballot by the internet, your request must be received by 5 p.m. on Friday, July 22nd. Whether you elect to vote by the internet or fax or in person, please be sure to vote. One vote is very important. Voting is not a spectator sport. So please take the time, take the opportunity to do your duty and vote. Remember, people died in this country for the right to vote. Thank you for participating in this forum this evening.